The Assistant Secretary of Defense for Research and Engineering is a senior official of the United States Department of Defense, the ASD and the Office S. He heads are charged with the development and oversight of DoD technology strategy for the DoD. The ASD reports to the Undersecretary of Defense for Acquisition, Technology and Logistics. The post has at various times had the titles Undersecretary of Defense, Research and Engineering, or Director of Defense Research and Engineering. The latter title has itself historically varied between the rank of Undersecretary and that of Assistant Secretary. ASD is the Principal Staff Advisor for Research and Engineering matters to the USD, and also the Secretary and Deputy Secretary of Defense. In this capacity, ASD serves as the Chief Technology Officer for the Department of Defense, charged with the development and oversight of DoD technology strategy in concert with the department's current and future requirements. The goal of ASD is to extend the capabilities of current war-fighting systems, develop breakthrough capabilities, hedge against an uncertain future through a set of scientific and engineering options, and counter strategic surprise. In cooperation with the Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Acquisition and Technology, ASD also provides advice and assistance in developing policies for rapid technology transition. As of July 2009, DDR and AMP-E introduced 4 areas of focus in support of the immediate and future needs of the DoD. Accelerate delivery of technical capabilities to win the current fight. Prepare for an uncertain future. Reduce the cost, acquisition time and risk of major defense acquisition programs. Develop world-class science, technology, engineering, and mathematics capabilities for the DoD and the nation. History. The National Security Act of 1947 and its 1949 amendments established the Department of Defense, including the establishment of 2 statutory boards, a Munitions Board, and a Research and Development Board. In June 1953, President Eisenhower's Reorganization Plan No. 6 abolished the boards as such, and created 6 new Assistant Secretaries of Defense, 2 of which were predecessors to the current ASD, ASD and ASD. Sometime later, the applications engineering position became simply engineering. In March 1957, the 2 related ASDs were combined to become the Assistant Secretary of Defense, Research and Engineering, ASD. Then, under the DoD Reorganization Act of 1958, the position of ASD was abolished and replaced by a new Director of Defense Research and Engineering, with the higher rank of Undersecretary. From May 19, 1961, until July 15, 1965, the Deputy DDR and AMP-E held the additional title of ASD, on the theory that this position reported to, in rank, an Undersecretary, the DDR and AMP-E. On October 21, 1977, Place 95 to 140 made the rank of the DDR and AMP-E unambiguous by renaming it to Undersecretary of Defense, Research and Engineering, USD. The history of Department of Defense management of science and technology up to the 1980s is described at greater length in a report available from the Defense Technical Information Center. The Military Reform Act of 1986 expanded the scope of USD position to encompass acquisition and logistics as well as technology, and it was renamed USD, as it remains today. A subordinate position at the Assistant Secretary level was re-established with the previous title DDR and AMP-E. However, budget control of the technology portfolio was kept by USD, diminishing the importance of the DDR and AMP-E position subsequently. On January 7, 2011, President Obama signed the National Defense Authorization Act with several redesignated titles within the Department of Defense. These changes included renaming the DDR and AMP-E as, once again, ASD. Office holders. The table below includes both the various names which this position has been named over time, as well as all the holders of those various offices.